Hello and welcome back to the second of this burst of YouTube uploads on my channel. It hasn't happened in a while. I'm recording these episodes back to back until I get to episode 13. As I mentioned in last week's episode, that one is currently being worked on, and I'm hoping to wrap that up in the next week and a half to get that episode recorded for you guys. But this one is recorded right after the last week's episode. So I'm hoping to just keep rolling here. I don't know why people are running. This episode, we are focusing on the African encounter that was built. This was probably built in June, maybe May, late May. Was when this was built. Really loved how this building turned out. I knew I wanted something that was showcased not only animals from Africa, but showcase culture from Africa, and obviously I have to use pieces within the game, and it's probably, from what I understand, pretty good. So let's go ahead and jump over there, and we'll give you a good look at it. So let's go ahead and meet you over there on the other side of this cut. Here is the African adventure encounter. I look at this right now, and like I've told you guys, I'm on episode 13. These are all been saved. These are different save files that I've been pulling up, and I probably haven't opened this particular save since when it was actually built, which was probably end of May, early June. This looks a little different than I know. And you can probably see that, and I don't know exactly when everything changes, but it does change as my building style gets a little better. But this was what I considered the completed build for the African encounter. Really love this build. There's 5 exhibits. So you have a hippopotamus right here, African elephants, the Western African lions up here, and then you have flamingos and Nile monitors are the exhibits, or the habitats in here, and then there's 4 exhibit animals in this one as well. Let's take a look at each one of them. So let's start over here with the hippopotamuses. So basically the one thing I wanted to do was have, I don't remember, I was watching another content creator, and they did this in their build where they had it that they could look down into the exhibit from up on top, and so I really wanted to replicate that here in this zoo. So you can see they have like these huge glass panels that you can just look right down into the habitat, into the den. I'm assuming that this would be probably like one-way glass that the animals couldn't see up, you looking up at them or looking down at them, but rather you could look down into their pen. Really love this adventure, this house, and then you have on this side the flamingos that you could look out to. But just super really cool. And the other side is the exact same. So we'll go ahead and just float over there. We're just going to float on over. So same thing. You can look down into the lion's den. So you got one there resting, or look out to the Nile monitors, and then you got their like outside area that you can look out on. And then over here is the African elephants. They only have the one viewing platform up here. And then their house. But yeah, really love this. And then the Nile monitors right here, and then the flamingos. So that's kind of the animals in this one. I am gonna go ahead and pause this so we don't have those people trying to talk over me. This is the part that I really liked. Oh, we don't even have exhibit animals. I really wanted to get like this bit of culture in here that really showcased Africa and kind of did some what are these things? I can't even think of what they're called. The conservation boards. I wanted to get them in here and really educate people on what's happening in Africa. I've said this in previous videos. This is one thing I really like. Like, this isn't written on this board. This is for literally the player of the game to learn about what is going on with poaching and exotic pet trade. And I think that is such a cool thing that Planet Zoo did with this game, that tried to educate the player with something that is meant for a guest. And I really like that aspect. So I wanted to include those with some really cool pots, and then the sculptures up there. These are supposed to have an exhibit animal from Africa. Obviously, I guess that they are gone, with some like African. Uh, I guess there's no music, but so yeah, this is supposed to be the culture aspect of it. Um, and then like they have like the native trees with like just a kind of this like very rough African culture that just immerses you into it. I feel like the lore of the zoo, or the lore of this park, this would have cost a lot of money, and that's why it was the very one of the very first things after, like I would assume this building. Let's see, I'm gonna zoom out here. Was probably built around the same time as this backstage. Even though they're in, for the purpose of YouTube, they are built in two different episodes. I would assume that these buildings were built at the exact same time, simultaneously. Um, the park or the county would really want to put a lot of emphasis on these two buildings to draw a lot of attention to the zoo, and really build that zoo, the fame of the zoo up, and try to get guests here. Um, and I would assume that that's what kind of they were going for. Um, Also, I believe at this point, and I can't really remember if this was showcased, or what part, because again, this was built back in June. But at one point, I think this was a part of the big change, that they implemented all the same canopies, all the same lighting, um, and so that canopy and lighting system continues. Um, really love this build. I'm really happy with how those like above looking into the animals um like night enclosures. I like how those turned out in this one. And then like it took quite a bit to build those buildings with like the different terrain, and I just really like how this one turned out. It looks really good. But anyway, next time, I believe we implement a permanent parking lot, and a second entrance into this zoo, that the county would have built probably almost at the same time. These three first episodes probably would have been built at the exact same time to again really increase that zoo, or this county, like this wildlife preserve county zoo, really increased its popularity. So until next time, we will see you next episode next Wednesday, as we continue working along here. Thank you so much for joining. If you did enjoy this video and you'd like to see more of it, go ahead and hit that like button down below, or subscribe if you feel so inclined. Thank you so much for all of the support throughout all of my YouTube career. It's been very nice, and very feels really good to be able to be liked, and have people see my content and see what I'm building. But anyway, thank you so much, and see you next week.